Hello guys, this is Money Decoded, and I'm here today with absolutely mind-boggling news to share with you about the devaluation of the dollar. Since the Second World War, the dollar has been the primary currency when it comes to international trade, but this is slowly changing. In this video, I will formulate all the puzzle pieces and show you how exactly the dollar is gradually losing its supremacy in the world market today, and how the Declaration of Independence by the French finance minister from the US will shape things moving forward. And I will tell you exactly how it might affect you and what steps you can take to be better prepared. Let's start with a little bit of history. I know how much you love your history lessons, but this is important. Hear me out. In the Bretton Woods Agreement after the Second World War, the Allies agreed to use the dollar as the universal currency to trade between them. But as time went by, it was apparent that there had been a decline in trust in the US currency, as they were not able to control their spending. During that time, the US bond could be enhanced by gold instead of the dollar, and that is what most people were opting for, showcasing how little trust they had for the dollar from the very start. The law had to be changed later to prompt people from using the dollar as a means of currency. The same is happening all over again. The relation between France and the US is at an all-time low due to the submarine contract that the US did with Australia and the UK, leaving France out. France summoned their ambassador both from Australia and the US for the first time ever. As we speak, there is no French ambassador in the US, who used to be their oldest allies. This lack of trust persisted thanks to the astronomical debt of the US government. And behind the scene, the European Union is losing their trust. And this is precisely what inspired the French minister to publicly admit that they want to be financially independent of US government. He added that there has always been a cultural difference between the US and French, and it's time France is financially independent. When you factor in the current trade war between the US and China, in which China is clearly in a powerful position, last year alone, China increased their export by a whopping 32.16 trillion yuan, surpassing US as the world's largest trading country in terms of exports and imports of consumer goods. There are other massive deals like the one between Saudi Arabia and Russia on joint cooperation on developing military equipment. This is massive when you think the Arabs were the biggest market for the US to sell military equipment. When you take them out of the equation, there is no need to make dollars transactions. Another significant development in Europe is the massive shortage of fuel, and the price of fuel is skyrocketing. It is most likely that most European countries, including the biggest allies of the US, the UK, will also go on a long-term contract with Russia on buying liquefied fuels. Now the question remains, why are the dollars used for such transitions? You have to understand that the dollar is simply a piece of paper. Its perceived value lies in trust, which is slowly dying. And the statement from the French minister to eliminate their dependencies on the US only signifies the inevitable death of dollars as we know it. More and more countries are coming out and making deals outside the dollars, marking an inevitable death for dollars. So that raises the question, where is the world economy heading? That's a tough question to answer, but crypto is going to play a huge part in it. Both the Federal Reserve and the SEC has their view on, but under the hood, many companies are perfecting ways to create digital currencies that federal banks can use. Those who are familiar with cryptocurrency will know that few companies are doing really well. In Ripple, a US company is working closely with the European Central Bank to devise a digital currency, but ironically they are being attacked by the SEC. Of course, that's what they're best known for, and they're losing badly. The SEC was caught misleading the judge, and it is ugly what they are trying to do. This is a topic for a whole different video, but in short, the European Union has shown interest in working with Ripple to create a way to make interbank legend and commerce more accessible and transparent, which will eventually remove the significance of the dollar. Look, this is a free world, and the world wants to get away from the dollar. Most countries, especially Russia and China, do not want the dollar to be the ultimate trade settlement, and there have been many other solutions being proposed. The most notable is the SDR, a supplementary foreign exchange reserve asset defined and maintained by the International Monetary Fund. In simple terms, it's a basket where everyone has their money and can buy and sell things among countries. This announcement today by the French minister is a centerpiece of the big picture that will be slowly unveiled in front of us. The dollar is slowly dying, and there is no other way around it. Every week, the dollar's perceived value decreases, and slowly in a few years, there will be no faith in the dollar anymore. So, there is no better time to keep your eyes open. Remember in the 70s when many countries lost faith in the dollar, and 9 years later, we had massive inflation, and the value of gold and silver exploded? Now, I'm not saying run and invest all your money. No, I'm not your financial advisor, but now is a great time to diversify your assets. Things are exciting now, and now is a great time to think and plan ahead about your investments. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.